Hello everyone, welcome back to the 1 Point Safety Show, where we keep the mic rolling throughout the summer and throughout the off season until training camp goes. Another week has passed very quickly, and I'm joined by my co-host Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it just this week just seems to have absolutely flown by.
Yeah,
And what I will
one.
say though is, quick shout out to Adam and Eba again. Thank you for being on with us last week, mate. This was the highest grossing downloads we've had ever since we started the show. So,
oh, really?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
absolutely,
Yeah,
massive download. So can't thank him enough for that, for being on, tip of the hat and all that.
Yeah,
But
cheers,
we won't
Appreciate
say it's not all us, that's for sure. But yeah, no special guests this week. It's just us. We're going to try and fill it out a little bit. We've got a few parts of today's show where hopefully it'll be a bit lighter and it'll be a bit more fun. Can't do a long pod like that again. We were on an hour and a half last week. That was so long to listen to.
Yeah, but it was easy though, wasn't it? I mean, like we just cracked on and just chat like you would do if you were down the pub. You know what I mean? So
it flew. It just flew
and that's
by.
why it's so easy for us, like to do an hour and a half even without shit. Oh, it's an hour and a half. Need to finish now. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Just got carried away last week, didn't we? But there you go.
That's it.
So there's been a little bit of news, nothing huge at all. I mean, Jahan Dotson appeared on the Second Wind podcast. If you can go and catch that on YouTube, it is on there. And he talked about his time, in football and coming to the Commanders as the first ever Commanders pick. Obviously praised Terry and the team, and he said that he's learning a lot more so for Terry off the field about how to be a man and how to be a professional, rather than look to the partnership that they're forming. He said that's already there. One thing that did stand out for me in that though is that he mentioned that Sam Howell is the starter pretty much to all of the players, and that he's going to ball out, which is what we hope to see. There wasn't much more from it than that. It was probably a good 10 minutes of that podcast where he talked about.
I think Jahan talked about this 2 weeks ago, saying the same thing that Sam's QB1 and that's how it's going to stay by an injury. So
yeah, I think he said he feels like he's been slighted because he's not been picked for that through the media as the person who's going to go off in their second year. Who's going to have a great second year. I mean, if you look at his stats, 7 touchdowns. And he missed 5 games through injury. I mean, if you take them 5 games back on, you're up there with the Chris Olaves for the rookie of the year.
He still had more touchdowns than Chris Olave. So
yeah,
see what I mean? Like, and this guy missed 5 or 6 games for the hamstring. So I understand why he's pissed off. But the thing is, though, it's Washington all day, isn't it? I mean, if this guy was playing for, I don't know, a big team, the Eagles or
the Bills,
or whoever, the Bills, so a big team who's been recently successful more over the last few years, they'd be like, Jahan Dotson, definitely a second-year breakout star. But he's just going to prove it anyway. And it's going to be building middle things up to the media, and everyone's going to be loving him after this season. So, yeah, I understand. But at least he's got a chip on his shoulder from it, and that's going to make him motivated. So I like it.
Yeah, let's hope so. Terry also did an interview for the Commanders YouTube channel where he again praised Sam Howell. He said as long as we have a chance, as long as Sam Howell's under center. So it seemed to be bigging up Sam Howell, which is good. They all believe in him, man. So
I mean, Terry wasn't saying this with Taylor Heineke. See what I mean? Like, he wasn't saying stuff like that, was he? Or we've got a chance if he's in the game. No.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
He's saying it about a guy who's actually a proper quarterback. So, yeah, man, I can't wait, man.
And then the Athletic and the Washington Post led a story that Jason Wright, obviously Washington Commanders team president, is going to remain in post, after the sale. I mean, come on, duh. Let's get a grip.
Pretty obvious.
Really. I mean, yeah. This is the thing. If they came in January or February and Josh Harris had bought the team, then you'd say, okay, maybe things can change. But you're coming in at the end of July. Exactly. You've got a pre-season 30 days after you're apparently going to take over. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? You can't just go, right, you're out, everyone gone. Let's clear the decks. I mean, that's obviously what he's wanting to do eventually, I think. But ideally, the best thing for him to do is to, sit there and say, right, well, let's see how we're going to be this season. And then in the off season, next year, that's fair enough. We see where we go.
Yeah, everyone's heads on the totem pole, or whatever you call it.
It's the chopping block.
Everyone's there. Everyone's there. Everyone's up there to be shot at and fired basically at the end of next season. But don't forget though as well is Jason Wright was an NFL guy, as in like the NFL basically assigned him to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he was a Goodell guy, wasn't he? So
yeah,
but also being a former player as well, he's got that background, and he's got that background.
I'm not saying he's not good at his job.
Well.
I'm just saying he's great at his job. But what I mean is just like he's already got that kind of not protection, but near enough. Mm-hmm. Is that okay? Yeah, well, okay. So Snyder's gone, but now it's going to be the new guy. But it might have been a slight stipulation that Jason Wright stays on as some sort of big time capacity.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't have a problem with it. I hope he does stay.
No, he's all right. I've got no big problems with Jason Wright.
Not at all, me neither. And then last bit of news, really, was a bit of sad news here, is that Chase Roudier put a Instagram post out yesterday saying that he is retiring from football, which is a big shame because, yes, we released him earlier in the off-season there, probably, 3 weeks ago now. He's been gone from the team, and obviously he's made that decision that health is more important, and we wish him well for the future. Really appreciate what he did with the Hog Farmers charity, and what he did off the field as well. Loads of further stuff with the foundation. Very close with Charles Leno as well about doing things off the field, and I can't thank him enough for doing that and embracing the DMV as an area and making sure that kid from Wyoming did his job. At the end of the day, great centre on his day. Top 3, top 4, unbelievable centre. And that's why he got paid. And then obviously salary cap is the salary cap, and it's the business at the end of the day. And unfortunately, cap casualties happen, don't they?
The NFL is, what have you done for me lately, league? Exactly, that's what it is. Yeah. So the problem is, 2 years ago when he was on fire, he was worth his 10 mil. No one even batted an eyelid when he signed that contract. It was like 10 mil a year. Yeah, no worries. He's a top centre, no problems. Then he got hurt. Okay, well, one season, all right, okay. Then it happened again, and it's just like, wait there a minute. Now he's not worth his money now because he hasn't been available to play. And and also he's realised that, and he's realised that, as I say, he might not be able to get back to 100%, maybe, and that's why he thought, might as well retire. He's probably looked after his money. Seems like a guy who's got his head screwed on. He's probably looked after his money, and so he doesn't need the game anymore. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, no, I don't know what his actual earnings were, but I'm pretty sure he is going to be quite comfortable for the rest of his days.
Well, yeah, I say he seems a guy who's quite, his head screwed on. He's not like a guy who's flashing money around, driving Lambos or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? He's not one of them guys. You know what I mean? As you can say, he probably comes to work in a truck. That's the kind of guy he comes across to me. And I've not met him, or I don't know what he drives, but in general, he's probably that kind of guy, where he's just chilled and more like a normal working class guy. So, so I think he's probably been quite smart with his money, I think. And that's why, again, that's another reason why he can retire. Is he 30 now, is he?
Yeah, I think so.
He retire at 30, yeah. So he can retire. I mean, I would love to be able to retire at 30, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Mate. Yeah,
exactly. That'd be
but fair play to him, man.
Cheers for that. I'll take
the
20 mil and I'll just disappear at the sunset.
Yeah, man. Don't forget he got paid. What was it, 2 years?
2 seasons ago, yeah. 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. So he's got 20 mil from that, and plus obviously his shitty 5th or 6th round draft pick deal, whatever that was.
Whatever his deal.
Probably about 3 mil over that 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got to remember you're gonna have a decent signing bonus in that as well, aren't you? So you got straight off cash immediate from that. So he'll do all right. He'll do all right. And
I wish him well. He'll be fine. Yeah.
Wish him well in the future. Good player and always be remembered fondly here as well. So
and he was a guy you thought of at the time. Oh, who's this guy? He's not going to do anything. And I say he made himself into a genuine top 5 centre when he was at his peak. So it's man, doing well for himself.
Best of luck, Chase. So we've got some fan questions and Scouts. We've got quite a lot, obviously, as always. Thanks for everybody who's sent them in. So I think you've got a couple there from Tim Towner, haven't you, to start us off?
Yeah. Tim messaged me in the Discord. So the first one, he was talking about. I'm just trying to see it now. I'm just trying to get it on my phone. 1 sec. He says, name one non-QB you think could win the NFL League MVP. Who do you think it is? As in, like, name the player, and what kind of stats do you think they have to put up to be able to get MVP, basically?
Interesting, very
Yeah,
interesting, and
yeah.
I could I could think immediately. I think three names come to my mind. I think two on offense and one on defense. I mean, straight away the first thing that came to mind was Aaron Donald, which is obvious. It's plain and simple, obvious. That's he could potentially win it again if he gets back to his self where he was. He was all over the spot, all pro.
He's getting older now, though, isn't he?
He
Do you know
is.
what I mean?
He
That's the
is. Yeah,
problem
he
with that's
is.
the problem with Donald, and it's hard. It's very difficult to pick a
Very
non
hard.
QB because they say nowadays it's a QB driven league, so you're always going to be looking at the QBs really, or an offensive player. I mean, and then I say unless someone has that freak year, like you say, a Donald who, at his best is like 18 sacks, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Then okay, and then they go on to win or get to the Super Bowl at least. Then yeah, okay, fair enough, MVP. But yeah, man, it's difficult because
it's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're not thinking QB, you're thinking.
I mean, wide receiver.
To be somebody so what? Yeah, it has to be a skill position player.
So I mean, you go
it's difficult, man, without the QBs.
Justin Jefferson again had a great season last year.
Again, the only way he's going to get MVP if they go deep into the playoffs.
Correct.
And
yeah.
I mean, Kirk will put stats up all day long. Mm-hmm. He's just a choker when it comes to the playoffs. So it's
the other one
problem you see.
The other one that was sprung to my mind immediately was Cooper Kupp again. And you think, yeah, great player, but Stafford, we don't know what's happening with Stafford. So you've got the same problem again.
I mean, people have said that he's actually injury free. He had 3 injuries last year that he's playing with.
Who? Stafford?
Yeah.
Wow.
3 injuries. Yeah, so he had 3 injuries that he's playing with, and obviously he got shut down after a while. Didn't he? Didn't play all season. And Cooper Kupp has had ankle surgery this year as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he's coming off an injury.
But he said that it wasn't a really big op. So it might have just been cleaning out some cartilage or something like that, probably.
So who would you think then, Scouts? Because I've probably got one more wide receiver wise, and that's maybe difficult, it's maybe Jamar Chase, who has got a genuine quarterback who can go far. I mean, would you go Travis Kelce possibly?
Again, the problem is the problem is with him is that he's under the shadow of Mahomes, isn't he?
That's it, yeah.
So realistically, real life, if they win it again, it's going to be Mahomes, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
So even though Kelce might have been the main guy, the main product, producing all the offensive yards, touchdowns, whatever, he's never going to get it. So
and I suppose you could say the same.
I'm thinking Eagles. Maybe. I'm thinking AJ Brown could be one, because he does make a big difference to their offense. Mm-hmm. But again, same thing again, though, isn't it? If they do well, it's going to be all about Jalen Hurts, isn't it? So
yeah, and that's the same with Chase. It's very difficult, man.
It's very difficult. Yeah, and that's it. You see.
To take that shine away from the quarterback, you just can't do
it. Difficult, man. It's difficult. But years ago, you'd say, "Oh yeah, running back." You'd say Barry Sanders. You'd be saying, these are the studs. Dalian Tomlinson,
Peterson,
AAP. Yeah,
exactly.
These guys are just that good. But the thing is skill wise and unbelievable talent wise from a running back, there's not many out there really that's going to go. It's going to blow your mind and say, "Oh my, yeah, this guy's an MVP candidate." I mean, we don't know what Bijan Robinson's going to be. I mean, he could come in and just light the league up. He really could. I mean, they've got a good offensive line over there. Got Heineke and Ridder over there as the QB. So again, they're not big names. So there's a chance that you could outshine the QB there. So there's that. So maybe, but again, I just don't know how good this guy is. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I watched him a little bit in college, but obviously he looks men against boys. But the thing is, it's college, isn't it? It's different. So it's very difficult, man. So if you look at other running backs, maybe who doesn't have a big name QB, who are you looking at? Do you know what I mean? Because that's the only way you're going to outshine a QB if your QB's bang average, and you make the difference. You know what I mean? As the running back or the wide receiver.
I also think with the devaluation of the position of running back as well, people are just
it's a killer, man.
How many running backs that we thought were really good for one team last year have moved to a different team?
Or Dalvin Cook, he's telling you, you got Buddy Cut. And he's an excellent running back. So it's I do feel bad for the running backs, to be fair, at the moment. The last few years have been pretty brutal for them in the business side of things. So it's
Tough.
very difficult. It's a very difficult
Tough question. That
without the
very
QB, it's very difficult because, as I say, real life stuff. If your wide receiver is doing well, if your Jamar Chase is killing it, well then Joe Burrow's going to be getting all the love.
Exactly.
See what I mean? So Burrow probably going to get it because he's a QB. So you got to look at ones that don't have a QB who go deep or go far somehow. So, for example, maybe the Giants, like last season, their QB didn't do too much.
So
get to the playoffs. See what I mean? It's got to be something like that to have a chance of an MVP type guy, if that makes sense. But again, it's it's very, very difficult. I've got no names that I could just pull out there and go.
I mean, we've pretty much said the names we think it could be on both skill position and running back, like wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. But there's nothing else. And as you said, then it's about they're going to be outshined by the quarterback, irrespective, because they're on a top team. Travis Kelce, does Travis Kelce play the same when he's playing for the Browns as he would do if he's in Kansas City? Or, does Justin Jefferson play as good as he would do in Minnesota if he's playing for, let's just say, who's quite a poor team down the bottom, the Texans? You don't know, do you? You know what I mean? Then again,
and again, wide receivers are linked to the quarterback and tight ends. They're linked to the quarterback because the quarterback's only throws in the ball. So,
of course it is, yeah.
So that's why you can think of maybe a running back who might be able to get a chance because QBs don't have to throw in the ball. Just hand it off. So that's why you think of running back. But again, they have to blow like 2,000-yard season. Do you know what I mean? To have any possible chance. Yeah. And how many teams run the ball like that anymore? There's not many teams that run it that often that you possibly could get a 2,000-yard rusher.
The only one that I could think of that did it a couple of years ago that was very close, but has got injured and is coming back from injury was Jonathan Taylor at the Colts. Potentially. Yeah. And I mean, they've got a rookie QB there who's potentially starting. So
he could be. So he could be the best of the non-QBs if he's healthy and his offensive line's better, because obviously he's got a couple of good guys, but he weren't great when he was there.
No, exactly. And I know he did get votes for MVP as well that season. He was very good.
He's a very good running back. And I say, but the thing is, it's got to be about health for him, but also the QB's got to be doing just enough. But I know for a fact, man, Richardson, man, he's just going to run himself a lot because he's not a good thrower. So he's not accurate with his throws. So especially intermediate to long, he's not very good at it. So that's why you might find Taylor might get a lot of the rushing yards taken off him because Richardson's running instead, or might be just a lot of screenplays for him.
Yeah, or just designed runs for the QB as well. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he's built like a tank. Do you know what I mean? So he'd be able to handle being battered by the defensive lines and linebackers. He's got no problems with taking the hits. But he's probably the best guy. But again, you just don't know what Richardson's going to do and how they're going to make him do. How are they going to make him? Realistically, if you're Frank Reich, is a Frank Reich who's still he's not Indianapolis anymore, is he?
No, Frank Reich,
because he's a QB guru. Do you know what I mean? That either made them the Panthers. Right, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was Jags.
No, he took over. Frank Reich took over the Panthers. Peterson's at the Jags, isn't he? Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So who's in charge of Indy?
Oh, new head coach.
Oh, is it that defensive guy from? Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Let me just double check this, mate.
I can't remember his name.
Because there was a guy who left the Eagles.
Shane Steichen.
Oh, Steichen. Okay, well,
Steichen. Yeah.
He's he was the offensive coordinator, wasn't he, at the Eagles? So
he was, yeah.
He was good. So he's probably quite good. So, but again, it's so much up and about there, isn't it? But to be fair, to make it easier, hand the ball off to John Taylor. You see what I mean? So, yeah. So he's probably the best. He's probably the best one, mate.
Yeah. So
non-QB. Yeah.
Thanks, Tim. Very interesting question. Very thought-provoking as well. So
yeah, man.
Thank you for that one.
Oh yeah, and the other ones he's got. While we're on Tim Towner,
this will be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. He's basically just said, name your AFC division winners and the NFC division winners.
Okay, so I've got them up in front of me. So we've got the East, we've got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets.
That's a
hard
division.
Division again,
especially with those upgrades in the Jets.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like what they're doing over there, so it's kind of like,
So I'm
still gonna go Buffalo. Still gonna go Buffalo.
Yeah, me too. I got to go
But I think
Buffalo
it's gonna be
too.
tighter than it has been recently. I'll tell you that.
And don't count out the Dolphins there either with Tua if he's
No,
fit.
they've got a good players. They've got a lot of good players over there. Like, they've got
Mm.
some proper playmakers.
The only one I can say definitely is, and I mean, you never
The
really should.
Pats.
You should, yeah, but you should never back against Bill Belichick, should you? So,
Well, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, don't you mean Bill Belichick? What do
yeah,
you mean?
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know what you mean.
But he hasn't got
But
a
then
quarterback nowadays, so he's
he
screwed.
hasn't. Then we've got the North. We've got the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns.
Well, it ain't going to be the Browns, is it?
Well, I don't think so, but I think Deshaun Watson will be better than he was last year.
Well, to be
But I
fair,
don't.
I'd be better than him from last year. I mean, that's how bad he was, mate. He was awful. So
Kenny,
yeah,
Kenny
man. I
Small,
mean,
Kenny Small Hands and his team.
nah. I mean, Tomlin does a brilliant job over there, but
He does. He really does. Yeah.
he's never had a losing record either in his whole career, which is amazing.
Never.
But
I only go the Bengals there. No
it's got to
issues at
be.
all.
You've got the true elite quarterback. You've got the best quarterback in that division, and it's the Bengals. So, and they've got one of the best receivers in the game. So yeah, for me,
the South, we've got the Jags, the Titans, the Colts, and the Texans.
Jags for me.
Jags for me as well. Yeah, Doug Peterson's doing wonders there.
Good job over there. And
Lawrence
is just getting better.
Trevor Lawrence is getting better and better every single year. And yeah, for me, that's exactly where I was going with that. So we're mad out.
Some good players there, man. Drafted well as well.
Pretty easy for me in the West as well. So we've got KC, we've got the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. It's a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Yeah. That's
so it's going to be
KC all day.
City.
Yeah.
Out of that, I don't want to be going down the route of predicting wildcards and playoffs and all that. We'll do that later on, I think. So let's go for the NFC then. So we've got the East, we've got the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Jets, and our Commanders.
The Jets? Did they?
Did I say the Jets? Giants.
Yeah, Giants, you mean. Yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. Yeah, let's go with it.
Unfortunately, it's the Eagles.
Yeah, for me it is as well.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, man, it's our division's tough. It's going to be tough. Everyone's got a hard schedule this year.
Absolutely.
So so it could be a hit and miss. But again, they haven't lost too many. They lost a couple of guys, but they did draft really well.
I still think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys regress this year, and I think New York might regress as well. So
I can understand from the Dallas point of view, but I do like what Daboll's doing over there.
I do too.
It's and he's a good coach, man. So it's they might still either do the same or do better this year. So this depends. So for me, man, it's difficult. I think we're fighting for third place, man. I don't think we're gonna be second or first, unfortunately.
So North, Vikings, Lions, Green Bay, and the Bears. This is where we might differ, but we might not.
So say them again. So you got the
Vikings,
the
Lions, Green Bay, and the Bears.
Now I know it's going to be between. It's going to be between Minnesota and it's going to be between the Lions.
Yeah,
for me, them two.
That's the two. That's the two for me as well.
Forget the other two. And tough one, really. I really do like what Detroit are doing over there.
Yeah.
But don't forget, though, Minnesota got 13 wins last year.
Yeah, I know. Even though 4 or 5 of them were lucky, but they still got wins.
Captain Kirk still got the win. So, I'm still going to say Minnesota. I think.
Okay, I'm going the Lions.
Yeah, I thought it might change.
Straight out Lions.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think. There, I think that's still going to be tough. Still got JJ, and they've still got some boys over there. So. Yeah.
Okay, what about the South then? So the NFC South, we've got Tampa Bay, we've got Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta. Last season, this was the division that nobody wanted to win.
Yeah.
So it was
I don't think it's Tampa. I think Tampa ruled out. I think
they're gone.
Just too bad. Just too bad.
Baker Mayfield and I can't remember who the other one is. Trask, that's it. Well done.
Kyle Trask, who was an ex-Gator quarterback. So I know all about him. He's not that good. Yeah. So. So I'll rule them out. You could say New Orleans, really. I do like what obviously you got Sean Payton there, who's a proven winner. He's not there, is he? He's not. No, my bad. He's Denver, isn't he? He's Denver.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, I'm thinking of the old Sean Payton. I I'm still going to say New Orleans. I'm still going to say New Orleans.
Been there a couple of years now. Their head coach. I can't remember who he was.
Yeah.
He was a defensive coordinator before.
Well, the thing is though, is like they've still got some excellent weapons there, and if you can somehow keep Michael Thomas available, then if you get anywhere near what he was in 2019, 2020, then you've got a chance. But so for me, I'm going to go New Orleans.
It's Dennis Allen is their coach. Yeah,
Dennis Allen. No,
yeah,
doesn't ring a bell. But yeah, I'm used to Sean Payton being there for 10 years. You know what I mean? He was there 10 years before he left. Yeah, so my bad. But yeah, for me, it's still New Orleans. What do you think?
Tough one. I mean, this could go anyway. You think about Bryce Young. Is it Bryce Young or who's Carolina's quarterback?
Yeah.
No, Bryce Young. Yeah, I was right. So he could make a difference in Carolina, especially with
again
Frank
no
Reich
rookie
there
QBs,
as well.
mate. Rookie
it's
QBs.
It's tough. Atlanta, Desmond Ridder.
They are a dark horse.
Taylor Heineke. Do you know what though? Their secondary and their defense is elite. Really, really good,
and their offensive line is elite as well.
Exactly. So I mean, who have they got on there? Lindstrom. They've got they've got quite a few.
They got a new guy in as well from free agency as well. That was a really good.
I might go Atlanta. You know, I genuinely think
they've got Bijan. They've also still got Cordell Patterson. So they've got dudes. They've got dudes. They've got Drake London. They've got
Kyle Pitts
as well, if he's back from injury. Man. They've got some dudes. The quarterback position is the problem, but again, everyone's. I mean, I like Ridder. I like what he did in college, so I think he's going to be better this season than he was last. And I think that they could challenge. I think they could, but I still think New Orleans just pip it.
And I like what Arthur Smith's doing there as well. You know what I mean? He's
Arthur Smith and also Kyle Smith, our ex guy. He's still there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still there.
Maybe
he's still there.
Doing this head scouting, and he's the guy. He was the guy who actually drafted to Cam Curl, by the way, before he left. So
yeah, it's
just saying. He knows what he's doing with play evaluation.
So yeah, I would take Atlanta there. It'd be tough on that. I mean, Jesse Bates as well at free safety just picked him up, and you just think Jeff Okudah as well. AJ Terrell's there. They've got a decent side. So I'll take Atlanta there, and you're taking New Orleans, which will be interesting. And then the West, we've got 49ers, Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals. So for me, I think the Cardinals, you can straight away say, it's not going to be them. Possibly say the same with the Rams, who are kind of in sort of half rebuild mode,
aren't they? I mean, how many draft picks did you have this year? It was about 12. Something ridiculous.
Something like that. It was mental.
And none of them were like the top 2 rounds either. So it's, the whole squad's knackered, mate. So,
but they did that, mortgaged it to win a Super Bowl, and they won a Super Bowl.
And they did, and it worked out because you did actually win it. So fair enough. But yeah, for me, there's nobody else besides 49. 49 is going to win it.
Seattle don't know. I don't know here because it all depends on who is playing QB for the 49ers. I know Kyle's system at the 49ers makes it easy for any QB to play there. And case in point, Brock Purdy last year. But he's got that UCL injury. We have no idea what Trey Lance is actually going to bring to the table. The other quarterback they've got
has a broken leg. Well, it's not twice now.
No, but I know, but that's what I mean. And then the other guy is Andy Dalton, who looks like they're going to start with Andy Dalton. I mean, he had a slight resurgence last year in Carolina, but he's
don't forget
this
guy. This guy used to be, a starting quarterback for donkey's years.
At the Jets, he was decent there. But
he was the Bengals, wasn't he? He was the Bengals, wasn't he? He was the Bengals before they were any good.
Is it?
Andy
Dalton. Is it Andy Dalton who's at the 49ers?
Yeah.
Am I getting confused?
I think you're right. I think
I think
they signed him this year. I think they signed him in the off season. But yeah, man, I mean, Seattle. I think Gino. He's there, isn't he?
I don't know. No, I think he's at Carolina. Who is it that I'm talking about? That's at I'm gonna have to look at for it. Yeah, I thought it was Andy Dalton, but 49ers QBs. Let me have a research here. We've gone right off.
Oh, is he Carolina?
Here. Yeah, he's at Carolina.
Man, we are bad tonight, mate. We're making some mistakes tonight,
making some serious mistakes here. It's going to be a little bit of editing this, but hey, we know what we're talking about. I can't remember. meh, it is what it is. But yeah, it's about who's there, who is who is
It's
their
Sam
QBs.
Darnold.
That's who it is, Sam Darnold. Why couldn't I
Sam
remember my
Darnold.
name?
Well, he's a Panther long. You know what I mean? So
That's what it
that's
was. It
probably
was
why we got
Panthers
it kind
last
of
year.
confused.
Yeah. I knew
Yeah.
it was similar to that. So it's Darnold. He was at the Jets for ages, wasn't he, Darnold?
Yeah.
He just
Yeah,
never really panned out from the draft. So
no.
yeah, I don't know who it's going to be. So Seattle, can Geno Smith continue?
And that's the big thing for me because I think he's a one-hit wonder. I think it was one season wonder last year. Don't forget this guy was a career backup. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he cut your balls out last season, which is great. But show me again, bro. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where I think he'll fall. I think he'll falter. He's got some good receivers. They got Smith and Jigba as well in the draft.
Got very good safeties
as well. They got some good defense still.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're going to be a decent side. Definitely a playoff contender.
Is it Woolen they've got at safety? Tariq Woolen, they've got him, haven't they? They've picked up. He was very good.
Woolen.
So
I
don't know. I don't know if they're going to do what they did last year.
I think Geno's going to let him down at some point. So I think the Niners still take that division.
Yeah, I take the Niners with you. I agree with you.
But do you think Seattle will be a wild card contender for sure?
Massively great question again, Tim. Cheers for putting that in. Really appreciate it. It gives us something to talk about, even though we don't necessarily know our gingerhead quarterbacks. So there you go. So another question. Kyle Ronek from the Podfather from the Burgundy Zone has put in, who would play Sam Howell in the movie about the Commanders after we win the Super Bowl this season?
Yeah, I mean, depend. I mean, what are you going for there? Are you going for kind of like a person who looks like him?
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Or are you thinking just like, a guy who could maybe kind of pull it off? Because I've got two. I think he's the spit of John Belushi.
Nice, good shout.
But obviously, John Belushi died in the 80s, so obviously he's not going to be doing it. So if you're going off his looks, it's not going to be that. But then I was thinking maybe a Matt Damon or something like that, but with a beard.
Oh, possibly. Or you could go old school and go like, Matthew McConaughey, who gets the team.
Oh no, with his draw, with the way he speaks. No,
I know.
You can't have that.
Who else would you go with? Would you go with someone from the new breed? I don't know. Maybe I've got no idea, Kyle.
Well, it's still got to be reasonably young, haven't they, to be able to play? Because the idea is meant to play football as well. Part of the synopsis of the actual film.
Yeah, I've got no idea. More importantly, it's who's playing Hog Farmer Keith.
He'll probably play himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he is him.
I don't know.
But yeah, so
Canada Mike's messaged in and he's put in his usual 10 questions. So thanks, Mike. We really appreciate it, mate. Honestly, you keep this podcast going, so thank you. Is there a genuine chance that Howell and Terry could go off and become the Montana to Rice of this generation?
I mean, it's big claims, but the potential's there. The potential really is there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Terry is that good. I mean, I wouldn't say he's Jerry Rice, but he is very good. Like, and if Howell can be anything like even like 3/4 of what Montana was, we've got an absolute baller right there, mate. And then she could be, the superstar tandem going forward. But yeah, man, it's all ifs and buts at the moment. I need to see more from Howell, obviously, but I think the talent could be there.
I'm just excited to see this position group. We've got a really good position group at wide receiver that we've not had for a long, long time. I can genuinely look and go, Jahan Dotson for me is 1B, Terry is 1A. And then it's like, well, who's number 2? Oh, you got Curtis Samuel. Oh, and then you look down and you you've got you've got De'Ami Brown, the college quarterback's best friend. Okay, yeah, we'll take that too.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get outside of the 4th, it's like, okay, we're kind of struggling a bit. Kaz Allen doing returning, short fields potentially going there. I mean, I am really looking forward to these skill positions that we've got this season.
And there's some dudes we picked up there from the undrafted free agent side of things. And
exactly,
there's 2 guys there that could actually make the team and actually make a difference. So,
you're talking about the Penn State guy.
The Penn State guy, yeah. Is what's his name?
Mitchell Tinsley, is it?
Tinsley. Yeah. So I mean, the only thing for him, he's up and down. That's his only problem. But in saying that, if he can get anything more consistent, then we've got another absolute baller right there, mate. And he can be fifth choice.
And we're forgetting we're forgetting the legend that is Dax Mill.
No, he's gonna be cut, mate. He'll be cut by the start of the season.
As long as they don't cut his sister. Anyway, moving on.
Steady there, mate.
Steady, steady. Oh yeah, not like that, but anyway, steady.
Getting the knives out.
Anyway, with a female being appointed as manager of a professional soccer team here in England, is there any reason we won't see a female head coach in the NFL in the next 10 years? Now, I had a bit of research on this. It's Forest Green Rovers who have just appointed a lady called Hannah Dingley.
So Forest Green are like what? They're like, you just got relegated from League.
No, they're in League 2. They're in League 2 now. So we've gone up.
Got relegated, didn't they? Yeah.
My team, Carlisle's gone up to League 1. They've come down to League 2. So thank God, because I've been to Nailsworth and I've been to Forest Green Rovers' ground, the new lawn, and it is an absolute trek. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's next to the nearest place is Stroud, which is about 5 miles away in Gloucestershire. Great place, Stroud. Good for a drink. But Nailsworth's got like 6,000 people in the whole entire town. It's a village basically, and you think to yourself, I'm here, and there's 5,000, just under 6,000 people in the entire town, and you're like, what? Where's the ground? And the ground is literally on the top of a hill. And you got to fucking hump it right at the top of this hill. It is awful to get into. There's a chip shop at the bottom, which is great, but by the time you got to the top of the hill, you've ate your chips. You've ate your chips already. But fair play to them. And from an NFL point of view, I'm excited about this. I think 10 years' time, could we have a female head coach?
No.
I would say no. 20 years? Yes, maybe.
America are lagging behind and stuff like that. I mean, and I'm talking by a long way. I mean, there's all this. We felt the dynamics, didn't we, when we went over there last year? And that's just between blokes, like white men, black men, those type things, and we felt the dynamics, and we weren't really used to that because over here we just kind of get on with each other-ish, don't we? Do you know what I mean? So sometimes
there's always always a group of knobheads, isn't there, somewhere around? Do you know what I mean?
There's always a group of knobheads. But what I'm saying is, like, you can feel like there's a kind of aura,
tension, isn't there? There's almost like
atmosphere. And I think, and especially if you're looking like, for example, Commanders have got someone called Jennifer King.
Yeah, I know Jen King from the running back coach.
She's the running back coach. She's black as well.
Yeah, so, she's great.
Great for minorities and the Rooney Rule and all the rest of that you might mention, but no, it's just not going to happen, mate. This is going to be like the best they're going to get is like maybe an assistant coach or offensive coordinator. Maybe you might get that in 5 or 10 years, but you won't be getting a head coach, mate. I just can't see it at all, like ever.
It's going to be tough. I mean, especially when you haven't even got a black owner. This is exactly. And this is what I'm not, and I'm all for diversity and inclusion of everybody. But I think fair play if you're the right person for that job, irrespective of what you identify as or what color your skin is. It doesn't matter.
That's the English thought process, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, it doesn't matter.
We're in the States, it's a very big thing. So I just can't see it, man. Honestly, I mean, they might get some interviews eventually, maybe 10 years, might get some interviews, maybe, but they'll never get one. They'll be like. The enemy getting you've actually got blackballed. Yeah, the enemy's proven. The enemy's proven. Do you know what I mean? So it's man. It's I just think I'm not saying they're all racist. I'm not saying they're all like this or that. I just think it's just the way it is over there. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, well, I do agree with you, mate. It was a very strange atmosphere, wasn't it? It was quite odd, that aura, if you like, of the difference between.
Like everything was great, going out, nights out, for the beers, and all that was all great. Yeah, as soon as you got to the stadium, you felt it,
very
man.
Strange, very strange. It was just a strange atmosphere. Mental. I don't know why that happened like that. Very strange. There you go. Whereas we were like, didn't give a rat's.
Yeah, we didn't care. Yeah, we didn't care. But you do feel there's something there, though, don't you? Do you know
absolutely,
what
I mean? Absolutely. Very strange. Mm-hmm. So if a genie said to the Commanders to win the next Super Bowl, Prime Minister Burrows would have to start supporting the Cowboys. Could you break him? I'd be like, how about them Cowboys, Andy? Off you go, son. See you later.
Mate, I'd break every bone in his body.
He'd be seeing it. I'd buy him a season ticket at the halfway line. See you, Andy.
Yeah, man.
Off.
I'll get him seats next to Jerry. I'll get him seats next to Jerry.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, no. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you'd probably have to kill Burrows before he becomes a Cowboys fan. But
absolutely, yeah. It was he bleeds Burgundy and gold, so yeah, there's no chance of that.
Man. I think I have to break every bone in his body, and maybe he might think about it.
Who would be the starting centre this season? Then, Canada Mike's asked as well.
Again, that's a good question. I think it's Gates' job to lose.
Yeah.
But my only thing is are they going to play left guard if they find out that our guys are absolute shite there? So they put him left guard because he will solidify it, and then you put Stromberg in, or do you play Larson, who had a good season last year before he got hurt?
Is he not 6-1?
Yeah, as a starter, yeah, ridiculous. So maybe you go with him as number 2, and then Stromberg backing him up. But again, as a third rounder, you expect this guy to be starting pretty soon. And if it's barring injury, I mean, he should be expected to be playing pretty soon. But yeah, it's a tough one because we've got 3 solid centers, I think. And but one can play guard at a good level, which is Gates. So tough one. But I'll probably say at the start, barring injury, Gates is going to be the starting center.
Yeah, I think week 1, Gates is the starting centre. Yeah, I agree with you there. And I think they may address left tackle elsewhere, post cuts or left tackle, left guard. If you look at that, they'll address that potentially outside of it if either of our guys aren't going to cut it there, because we don't know what's happening with Braden Daniels, who we've just got through as one of the draft picks. We don't know what's happening.
He's a prospect, isn't he? He's a prospect.
And then
he's trying him at left tackle. It seems a bit too small for it though. So
yeah, and then you've got Paul, and then you've got Sadiq Charles as well, haven't you? So
Mr. Injury prone.
Yeah, he can never stay fit. So
and that's the problem. So that's why it's such a big question mark at left guard.
Agreed.
So and Gates could just fill that hole like that.
I know, and he's played there
it's not
at NFL level.
And he played at a good level.
Left guard.
He played at a good level. I mean, he played there last season.
He did for the Giants, yeah.
For the Giants, and all the Giants fans hated it when he went. They loved him. So because they can say, "Oh, the Giants have a great offensive line," but he didn't.
I know he's fit, and I know he's fit, and he was fit last season playing for the Giants, and he's 100% fit coming to us. But that injury still worries you, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? You still look at that and think,
"Yeah, man." It's longevity, isn't it? That's the problem. It's longevity.
And as you said, once offensive linemen's legs go, we look at Chase Roulier this week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There it is. It says it all, doesn't it?
And let's just hope that his leg is
touching wood.
Yeah, is 100%, like genuine 100%, not just people saying that. But he looked sharp. He looked good. He did play the last 6 games, I think, didn't he? So
yeah,
he was. So obviously his leg he could play 6 weeks solid. But can he play 17 weeks or 18 weeks solid? That's the difference. So again, it could be a longevity thing, and that's why we've got 3 centers on the board this year. That's why I think that might be the case.
I think we'll find a lot out when we get to this scrimmage against the Ravens before we even get to preseason. I think when we're into training camp and we've got this scrimmage against the Ravens, that'll be where we find out exactly who's going to do what and whether they are comfortable with what we have at left guard and whether we're comfortable of who we've got at center.
Yeah, but it's also this, mate. It's more about the money.
It's about money.
We haven't got the money. We have to go out and get ourselves a guy on the market, on the free agent market. And we haven't got the cash, so
for £10 million, Sir Scott, Lord Lockhart, and Payhem Burrows have to make a 30-yard field goal. Who are the specialists? Who's snapping? Who's holding? And who's kicking? Well, I got my version of this. So for me, I'm saying you're snapping because you probably got a better handle on where the ball's going to go. Okay. I'm going to say, and you've got a better idea of what's around you spatially awareness-wise. I say I'll hold because I've got decent enough ball handling skills from playing rugby, so I'm quite happy with that. And I think Burrows being an ex-centre half and a decent enough footballer, he can hoof it through. So that's what I would go with anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was similar. The only flip side would be me holding and you
I don't
snapping.
mind either way. I could snap. I'm quite happy with that.
And leave balls to kick it. Even though I used to be a goalkeeper as well, so I can kick it far. But But again, yeah, you probably would go with that. Really, probably what you said is probably the best one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next one he's got is...
Imagine seeing that for 10 mil, and you're putting on Burrows. He's like Joey Sly when he's going for his extra point.
Wide left.
Shank.
Oh shit. So he said his next one is, can you recommend 3 in no particular order Washington UK podcasts that anyone can enjoy, apart from ours, that they should listen to? I honestly don't know any other Washington UK specific podcasts out there.
I don't think there is. I mean, if there is, fair play to them, but I've not heard of any.
I haven't either.
You know, and obviously we're on Twitter, and we like to think that these guys,
as well, you know,
reach out to people, and we think like that there would be some sort of name pop up once in a while or something like that for if there wasn't the Redskins or Commanders podcast from the UK.
I think.
But, I mean, there's a couple of guys doing bits like who might bring on a Commanders fan or stuff like that, like the guy we had a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Aaron, from the work. Aaron,
so stuff like that. Yeah, you might see us then, but not as a true dedicated Commanders podcast. I don't think there's any.
I don't know. Apart from us, I don't think there is one specifically from the UK.
I think that's the reason why we kind of did it, because we thought
it's just that niche, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's no UK guys, like just two UK guys going talking about it. You know what I mean? So
I mean, Burrows. Shout out to Burrows again. You go with a bunker.
Obviously you get the bunker. You got Burrows, but obviously we all know he's more international than say.
Yeah, he's an international superstar, isn't he?
Yeah. More than talking about kind of, you know, just purely from UK version, UK based stuff, you know. But normally he paved the way for us to start up and stuff. He did, like
absolutely,
that. So you could put the bunker on there, really. You could do.
You could do.
But I'm on it as well. I suppose you got 2 English and 1 American on it. So I suppose you could say the bunker. But besides that, mate, there's no one out there, man. You know, so
no. And to be honest, we're not going to name every content creator here who we're sitting next to in week 1. We do listen to all your shows, and we appreciate you. We all submit questions to your shows. We're happy to go on your pods and vice versa. So shout out to everybody who's doing it. It's, you know, it's a saturated market. We get that. We understand that. But
yeah, man, we're not doing it for the money, are we?
No, of course we're not.
No, we don't get paid for it. You know what I mean? So we're all just about. Some people do. Well, definitely not us, mate. I tell you that. I mean, there's some superstars out there in the Redskins. A Commanders world, should I say? There's a couple of superstars, but most won't get paid. So,
and we've had them on our show
because we love it. We've had
a lot of them on our show, so we're grateful for that as well. To be fair, and the good thing is with this community of podcasters and content creators from YouTube or from elsewhere, other platforms, we're really grateful to them. They will reach out to us and vice versa, and it's nice to have that, you know, general football chat around, you know, what we're doing.
But that shows how good fans we are, really. We've all felt the pain. We've all felt the pain for decades, you know. So. And we're all in it together, even though we might rip each other once in a while or do this and that, you know. Shout out to Reed for Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, I'll really enjoyed that comment, by the way, Reed.
I didn't even get drafted, so happy days, man. I'm just undrafted free agent. That's fine.
It's fine, mate. It's fine. I'm going to be the Brock Purdy. That's what's going to happen, mate. I'm going to absolutely ball out.
You're rise to the top. I like
week
that.
in, week out. Still here. Where Reed goes missing half the time. Should call him the Invisible Man, shouldn't we? The Invisible Reed.
Oh yeah, quantum leap. Sometimes he turns up. Yeah,
Sam Beckett, or as we call him, Sam Reed.
Yeah, good shout. Oh dear. Shout out to the 80s shows. Anyway, if your wives were to start a podcast, what subject do you think they'd be good at? So
not a lot, to be fair, mate.
I don't. Mine would be either interior design or loves watching housing programs and loves doing up a kitchen or a bathroom or whatever it is interior wise. Loves all that, which is great. Binge watching TV shows, that's probably one of them. You know, she can literally sit there for 7-8 hours
and just like watch a whole series.
Absolutely. Like the Handmaid's Tales or whatever.
Done. That's probably not going to be. That's what it probably be. It'd be like a
binging.
Pick a season, and then obviously do a pod on like just talking about what's going on in that episode each week. You know what I mean? That's what it'd probably be. And also designer handbags is the other one.
Oh, nice designer handbags. There you go.
Yeah, man.
That's her thing. That's her thing.
Knows the stuff. Yeah. Kills me in the pocket, but it's what
and
it is.
then the weather is the last thing. Loves the weather worldwide. Loves watching the Weather Channel and bits and bobs.
No.
Bit odd, but yeah,
No.
whatever. But no, she's binge watching. I think is the way to go with that one.
Yeah, it's probably going to be that one.
So that's our last fan question. So thank you for submitting the fan questions again. What we're going to do is something slightly different here. We're going to rank our top 5 Commanders, Washington football team, Redskins quarterbacks from the Dan Snyder era. We've had 27 starters, Scouse. 27. I don't want to go from A to F and for I for incomplete, but we'll give them a little bit of a mention. They did start for us, and we'll go down.
Incomplete? What do you mean incomplete? Is it like one game or something?
Yeah, one game, and they might still be going. So you would probably say,
"Oh, okay."
Grade would you give Sam Howell right now?
Yeah, incomplete.
As a 1-0. Yeah, you can't really give him a grade. But we'll go through and we won't give them too much hype, and then we'll probably do our top 5 that we think have
been... I've been looking through the list, man. We have had some fucking awful quarterbacks, man.
I know.
Either guys who are well past it, or just guys just can't even remember the names. Like Danny Werfel, for example. We're going to talk about him in a bit. Who's that dude? I can't remember that guy. That's how bad he was.
We'll start out with Garrett Gilbert from the time of Washington football team. Came in when Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen were out with the NFL COVID-19 protocol in December 2021. Started a week 15 game against Philly, which we lost 27-17.
Yeah, he actually did okay, to be fair.
He did okay. Yeah, he
considering like he was never... He just came off the street, you know.
He's off the Patriots.
It's like third string stuff, 24 string. Yeah, so we weren't expecting anything from him. We didn't get much from him. He did okay, but I mean, what can you call him? F, because he didn't win. Because he didn't win.
F. Yeah, that's it. Don't really
bit harsh for him, but we'll go with that.
Next one, it's the beard himself, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, he's a big time F. He's
0-1. Mate. Yeah, 0-1. Obviously, subluxation of the hip in week 1.
Yeah, but he smashed his hip up beforehand in the off season
on a pool, didn't he?
On the water slide. It was a water slide.
Well, we don't know if that is the truth or we do or we don't.
No,
allegedly,
people said they're watching him. And he got out of the pool. He was limping like hell. Yeah, and he hasn't been able to. And then obviously, first hit on his hip. I'd say broke it. Good night.
Done.
So obviously, this guy just knew that he'd done something to his head.
I was quite looking forward to the Fitzy era, to be fair. You know what I mean? But no, that was...
Yeah, you thought it was going to be exciting, didn't you? I thought, at least...
You did.
Okay, you thought loads of picks, but you thought loads of touchdowns as well.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
No, mate, no. We got one quarter.
A quarter and a half.
And then he got binned. Yeah, and then he got binned after that for the season. So, yeah, so big time F for him.
Sam Howell, obviously incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete. Hopefully he'll be a stud soon, but...
All right, the next one up here, Jeff George from the Redskins, 1-6 record between 2000 and 2001. Started 7 games.
Well, again, you see Jeff George, much better for Tennessee. Did he play for?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I think he was Tennessee.
He did. Yeah,
so much better for them. For us, absolute dog shit. You know,
I've just got an F.
It's not fair, man. Yeah, big time F, man.
Winner of
fumble next.
Okay. Fumble, winner of a press conference. If it was a press conference, he'd be a star. Unbelievable. 0-2, Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Came in for the injured Alex Smith and Colt McCoy. He was benched at halftime of his second game when we were losing to New York, who were 5-8. We were losing 34-0 at halftime.
Yes. You know, man.
Dire. Absolutely dire.
Absolute dire. Yeah, another one that was like off the street kind of higher, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Weirdly enough, he never played again. Never played a single snap again after us.
Well, good. He shouldn't have played anymore. Guy's a bum. Can't believe it. This guy's a multi-millionaire and he absolutely shit.
I know. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
John Beck, 0-3, 2011 season. 858 yards that season, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2 rushing TDs. I'm not going to give him an F.
No. I think I'm going to give him
a D. A D, yeah. But
I'm going to give him a D.
0-3.
He still lost. That's what I'm saying. We lost them all. We lost 0-3 everywhere. We lost the games, so his stats were
there. But there we go. I don't know.
Well, I suppose so. Yeah, if you haven't won the game, mate, you don't deserve shit, do you? Let's face it.
Tim Hasselbeck, Redskins, obviously came in for the injured Patrick Ramsey back in 2003. 1-4 record. What's really interesting with this guy is, he was okay in his first game. I mean, it was a 20-7 win over the Giants. Didn't do too bad. But the next game had the lowest ever QBR rating of 0.0.
I mean, to be honest, how could you actually get 0.0? Like,
27,
surely he must have completed at least one pass.
27-0 loss against the Cowboys.
Oh,
he was 6 for 26, 23%. 4 picks and 57 yards. Yeah. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
Again,
F. Move on. Next.
F for presentation.
Donovan McNabb is the next one on the list. 5-8. 2010 season. He just didn't want to be here, did he? He really didn't want to be here.
No, he was on his way. But to be fair, he was aging. He was a Philly legend. Didn't really want to be here. He just got paid the big money to come here.
And he destroyed us when he was at Philly.
Because he was good then. I mean, we got him when he was old. You know what I mean? So, yet again, we buy the cast-offs of people. We were mentioning the next World Carson went after that. Retreads and retreads and retreads, and they're just not good enough, man. And McNabb, I'd give him a D, to be fair. He won a couple of games, won a few games. But he's just fucking nowhere near the prime McNabb that we needed.
It's the bear man himself, Carson Wentz, next on the list. See
what I mean, mate? That's another F.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know, after all these, mate, how many Fs we've got. That's what I want to know, because the betting is about, are these 27? I'm going to say about 23. I reckon they're going to be Fs.
Yeah, exactly. 2 and 5. I mean, it could have been a lot better for Carson Wentz, but again, stupid interceptions against the Titans on the goal line, daft throws against New York. You think to yourself, come on, mate, what are you playing at here?
The guy's brittle, mate. The guy's brittle.
Yeah, gone.
I mean, you look at him and he breaks the leg. You know what I mean? Like, it's just broke his finger so easily.
What's looking at this is he hasn't picked up a team. So he is done.
Yeah, he's a bum, mate. He's a bum. The only time he's coming back if someone gets there from somebody, the first team starter, mate, might go down here for the season or something, then you might see him pop up somewhere. But
what are you saying? An F again?
Oh, yeah, 100% F.
Okay. Danny Werfel, 2 and 2.
Who the hell's that guy? Do you know what I mean? I don't even know who this guy is.
Steve Spurrier bought him in 2002. I think he was
Woeful.
May have been
Danny Woeful. That's his name. Danny Woeful.
Danny Woeful. Well, there you go.
This guy's woeful. Yeah.
2 and 2.
To be fair, because he's got 2 and 2, I'm going to give him an E.
A D.
I'm going to give him
an E. An E. Yeah, we'll go with an E.
Just because he'd have a losing record.
Dwayne Haskins, Redskins, Stoke, WFT, RIP.
Now again, RIP.
Yeah, 3 and 10.
You don't want to talk bad about the dead. You know what I mean?
No,
but this guy's but for me, he was an F.
Yeah.
He was an
F.
Attitude
shocking.
Attitude was awful. He didn't want to be in Washington even at the start. I always remember when he got drafted and he had his family buzzing about it and that. And he was like, he just didn't want to smile. He just didn't have a smile on his face. I'm thinking, you don't want to be here straight away. And you can tell. And then obviously he thought he was the bollocks.
Overall pick.
And he did nothing. And then obviously he got.
But again, that wasn't the pick that we wanted to take at the time. We wanted to take Montez Sweat at 15. That was what we wanted to do. And then, you got Dan Snyder ringing in from his yacht. Let's pick Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, well, Dwayne actually knows Dan Snyder's son or something. That's the reason why. They said they're good friends or something. And they were like, mate, you got to draft him. But for me, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to be a first round pick. He wasn't, because first round picks 9 out of 10 they start first season. It's only the rare occasion you see them that they sit.
And he sat behind Case Keenum.
This guy needed to sit for about 3 years.
Yeah,
this guy was a project. He should never have been first round pick. Fortunately, and that's not his fault. That's not Dwayne's fault.
No,
that's Dan Snyder's fault.
I'm going to give him an E.
Put the pressure on him.
I don't think he was bad. He's as bad as some of these people on the list.
I'm still going to say F, because even the game one of the games he actually won, he ran off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, selfie.
The game is still playing.
Yeah.
The game was still playing.
Yeah.
No, the backup guy had to come and take a knee, remember?
He yeah, he did. It was,
remember, at the end of victory formation? Remember that?
Yeah, it was the selfie, wasn't it? He took a selfie with a fan. Yeah.
But he was running around all the fans because he's loving it because it was his first win. And I get it, but the thing is, the game's still playing.
Mental.
No, that shows that he wasn't in the zone. Do you know what I mean? Just wasn't in the zone at all. So
next one we got Case Keenum, 1-7. I didn't know he was 1-7 until I read this up. I was like, oh my God. You know, he finished the season with 1,700 yards, 11 TDs, 5 interceptions, and a running touchdown. I remember coming out the field when he first set up, and it was Terry McLaurin's first game away at Philly. And were we away, or I can't remember if we were away or if we were at home. First game, it was one of the games anyway. And he absolutely hoofed it out. And I thought, oh my God, Terry's like nailed this to and that's when we first seen Terry McLaurin explode. And I was like, wow, this is a great throw. We could have a decent season here. 1-7. Yeah, well cheers. Cheers, Case. You weren't the Minneapolis Miracle there, were you, Sunshine? So that's a definite straight up F.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to double it, right? So say he played 16 games and it went the way it was. It would have been 2-14. He would have got 3,500 yards, 22 TDs, 10 interceptions. Now that wouldn't actually be that bad on the stat line.
I suppose so, yeah.
Obviously, from a ridiculous 2-14 season, yeah, that's awful. You know what I mean? That's definitely F worthy. But the stats would actually be better than what it was. So maybe the shit defense that year, that year. Well, I don't know. But either way, yeah, he's still getting F.
Josh Johnson, the magician.
F.
Well, he was a 1-2. He was 1-2. He won a game in 2018. Came in for the benched Sanchez, and then obviously started the following game. So
Josh Johnson,
yeah,
awful.
F.
Absolutely grade A awful.
I mean, he was playing last year in the NFC Championship game. You know, you just think to yourself,
well, for about 3 snaps, and he got laid out, and that was the end of it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It was just crazy, wasn't it? It was absolutely crazy. Next one, Rex Grossman, slinging the ball. Came in 2010 to 2013. 6-10. Not an awful record. These are records of about mid-range wise.
Yeah, man.
When I first started watching the Redskins at the time, he was the QB. So
yeah, Rex Grossman. I mean, he's he's very polarizing, isn't he? You either say he's dog shit, or you say, well, actually, he wasn't that bad. Even did he? I don't know if he won a Super Bowl, but he got a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
The Bears. Yeah. I think he got a Super Bowl with the Bears. I think that was like his when he was actually a starter and he was actually meant to be good. But I don't think he won it. But I think he got to the final of the Super Bowl itself. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to give him a D.
I've gone with a D as well. I've gone with a D there as well.
Yeah.
Next one up, Colt McCoy.
F.
1-6. 1-6.
Colt McCoy, man. Flat to the seam all the time, man.
Everyone loves a backup QB, don't they? That's the thing. It's just
we love a backup QB because we always see them on the field.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Right.
We expect to see the backup quarterback at some point in the season. We expect it because it happens every season.
It is just crazy, isn't it? That we
are so unlucky. We are so unlucky with QB injuries, man.
Yeah, we are. We are very unlucky. I mean, just yeah, you're right. F again. Next one, Shane Matthews. He was a 3-4 record in 2002. He was the other Florida Gator that was brought in. Started 7 games under Steve Spurrier.
Well, against Spurrier was from Gators, wasn't he? So that's what.
He was. So they both
Shane
came
Matthews.
in.
Where did he come from? As in, like, was it when he was drafted? Did we get it from the draft?
Yeah.
He wasn't a first rounder, was he, Shane Matthews?
No, I don't believe so. I can't remember which one. I
remember we got somebody and he was the first round and he actually sucked.
Yeah,
I think it's that Patrick Ramsey. Is it I'm on about there?
It could have been. I mean, I remember someone came in and he was from the Texans, and it was because of the expansion rules. And then we traded for him, and we ended up when Steve Spurrier came in, both QBs were Florida Gators. And we went with both. He went with both at the same time, which is a little bit different.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was only with us for a season, 2002.
Yeah. So I don't know where he came from before that. If
Chicago.
got that, was he Chicago before that?
Yeah, so they drafted him. Yeah, they drafted him.
A 3-4 record. So it's not bad. If you're going to go with 6-10 and give Rex Grossman a D, what are you giving Shane Matthews at 3-4? It's not F territory.
No, it's not F territory.
So I would say you're going to have to probably go with a D.
I'm going with D for him as well.
Yeah, interesting. Then we've got the legend.
He had a 13-year career, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Decent. Interesting.
The next one, the legend that is Kyle Allen, Washington football team quarterback.
Another glass ankle. F.
Unbelievable. 1-3 record.
The guy sucks, man.
Terrible.
The guy sucks. He sucked at Carolina. He sucked here. I don't even know where the hell he is now. Is he? I think he's Texans.
He was at the Texans. He was at the Texans last year.
Again,
he played. He played when we played the Texans.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he started for the Texans.
Yeah, he sucked.
Well, because I was expecting to see long neck David Mills, but or Davis Mills even, but yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he wasn't there. Davis Mills, as John would say, the light sparkling splendor of Davis Mills. Get your coffee here. Does sound like an American coffee, doesn't he, from the Midwest? But anyway, next one up, Todd Collins from the Redskins from 2006 to 2009. He started all the games then. He started all the games in 2007, 2008 season. Yeah, he was a 3-0 as a QB. He was actually pretty decent. His bubble burst probably in Seattle. Somehow when we got from a 13-0 deficit in the fourth quarter to take the lead in a wild card game of the playoffs, but it came crashing down after that when we got a couple of pick sixes and then we lost the game 35-14 if I remember rightly. But then he'd been on a miracle run before that. He took over from Jason Campbell, a couple of victories on the road. Campbell. I know, exactly, yeah. A couple of victories on the road. And then we absolutely battered Dallas. I remember that. We battered them at home, right, and to secure a playoff spot. And then it wasn't like, I suppose he wasn't the main reason for that run, The defense was very, very good. But ultimately, that's the year where Sean Taylor sadly passed. And then but he was there. Do you know what I mean? He was there as the signal caller. And you just think to yourself,
so what happened to him then? So why do we go, oh, yeah. So if he was 3-0 in his starts, Patrick Ramsey, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was a first rounder. Pick 32 he was, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, from Tulane.
2002 was he?
He was 02 to 05 he was. So I think actually Collins was after him. So we just went back to Campbell when he got fit. That's what it was, back to Campbell. But it's just, he was all right. He had a bit of a miracle run as a starter. So at 3-0, got to give him his props and say he's got to be up there. A B or a C, yeah. What he said, a B probably, yeah.
See, the problem is though, is like, you want to see more sample size as well. These are the things like
you want a playoff game.
He's got to win more than that.
That's it. Well, got to a playoff game anyway, but wild card game.
Yeah, got to a playoff game. Yeah, we didn't win, but I mean,
we didn't win it, but yeah, I know what you mean. So next one, Patrick Ramsey, 10-14, 10-14. I mean, that isn't a bad stat line. 10-14. He was a first round pick, 32nd overall out of the 2014
made from a first round pick. That's not impressive, mate. This is how bad our QBs are. The worst saying this is actually, this is actually an okay stat. This is okay for us.
Terrible, isn't it?
This is okay for us. This is the level. This is the shit that we had to deal with for so long. Man, I'm begging the house good, man.
I'm looking at Patrick Ramsey here and I'm saying to myself, well, the only lasting memory that I've ever seen on tape or looked at him was when he was playing against the bloody Saints at home and he threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, man.
And the Saints battered us 43-27. So he's an E maybe, or a D? 10-4.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the difference between
You think more of a first round
double
pick,
digits. Though. Yeah.
But he's a first round pick, so you expect to be a lot better than what he was.
Yeah, he was.
So that's why
he was the
even though his stats are a bit
last pick of the first round.
Still a first rounder.
No.
But he was number 1, number 32, still first rounder. But the thing is, It's like
I'll go
you
with an E.
expect more from a first round pick.
You do.
So if this was a, I don't know, Taylor Heineke, 10 and 14, undrafted guy off the street, then you'd probably give him, a C. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even a B. He's done really well for himself. But this is E at best, man. At best.
Next one then on the list, we'll rattle through these ones. Mark Brunel, 15 and 18. I mean, he was the guy that Gibbs wanted at the time, but he was well past his prime when he came here. He had a shocking first season. And then he rebounded in that second year that he was with us, and then next thing you know, wasn't particularly anything special, but he got us to the playoffs. He won a wild card playoff game against Tampa Bay, and that is our last playoff victory. Still stands today.
I'll probably give him a C, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he's.
I think a C. I think a C for him. He won a playoff game, which is more than most of these guys.
Do you know what?
He had a losing record like everybody else.
I think he's a B for me. Is he better than Todd Collins was? Todd Collins got us to the postseason, yeah. But Brunel won a playoff game.
But Todd Collins played 3 games. Do you know what I mean? Like
I know. But he was.
You can't go off. You can't go really off that 100%. Like I mean, and there's a reason why Todd Collins is the drink, and not the actual starting quarterback. See what I mean? Todd Collins.
Are you going C there? Are you?
I'm going C for Brunel.
All right, okay. C for Brunel. Right, fair play. Jason Campbell, 20 and 32. Ooh, 25th,
Jason Campbell.
25th pick out of the 2005 draft from Auburn. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate
Jason Campbell. I was never convinced with Campbell either. No.
I hated Jason Campbell. I mean,
but to be honest with you, I wasn't even following the team then. So I know.
I just wasn't happy. But... Again, another first round pick.
Correct. Yeah.
We have busted so many times, man, on the first round QB.
Pick.
It's unreal.
25th pick, yeah. Ridiculous.
So many busts, man, from the first round picks. For me, Jason Campbell, D.
Okay, D.
And that's me being nice.
Okay, next one. Tony Banks from the Redskins, 2001 under Marty Schottenheimer, 8 and 6 record. It's a positive record.
Positive record, and for that, he's got to be both positive. So I'll probably give him a C+.
Yeah, C+. Oh, okay, fair enough. C+. Nice. Next one. This for me is Big Alex Smith, yeah. 11 and 5 record for the Redskins / Washington football team. I thought it was a great trade and a great move at the time to bring him in from the Chiefs. Brilliant quarterback. Dink and dunk. Wasn't exciting to watch. Didn't have the stretch to field play. But
yeah, he was the perfect game manager, wasn't he? The perfect game manager. And that's what we needed. That's what we need. Don't turn the ball over. Grind the games out and win. And that's what he did. I mean, I've got an Alex Smith actual signed jersey on my wall. I mean, I love Alex Smith. I mean, not just because of 11 and 5 is our best winning season for a quarterback of all these guys that you talk about today, but it just shows the kind of leader and what kind of man he is just coming back from that injury. You know what I mean? Like that injury, mate, was fucking horrific. I mean, I've got pictures on my phone of his leg, mate, where it's all you can see. There's no muscle there. You can just see a fucking metal rod on the inside of his foot. Well, you took all the skin off. No, because it's all ripped to shreds. Honest to God, mate. I mean, horrific. He should never have come back, personally. But that shows. I know. That just shows, though, the actual attitude and the kind of leader that he actually was. You know what I mean? And he was worthy of a first round pick. Yeah, I think he went actually number 1 overall, actually, when he came out. Yeah, obviously, we didn't pick him there, did we? But I think the 49ers picked him, I think.
Yeah, they did.
Number 1. But again, Alex Smith, man.
Great QB.
Proper guy. But
at the same time, I don't like what he's done post leaving us. The little slide digs here and there. The little slide digs here and there. I get it. Yeah. You worked under Snyder. It's dog shit. I completely understand. But now we've changed as a bit of an organisation, changed his attitude.
Well, he's just trying to stay relevant now, and that's
of course he is. I mean, but at the end of the day, he's doing well for ESPN as well, and good luck.
Yeah, man, he's a good analyst. I mean, I'm going to give him a B
for me, B plus, maybe even an A.
Yeah, I'll say B
just for
plus
competitivity and to get back. I mean, bearing in mind as well, while we're doing these, when we're saying, he had an 11-5 record, this is as a starter throughout his time with us. This is not in the one season, all right? So we do know what we're looking at here. It's over the time period. So I would say, Alex Smith, I would give him a B for me.
Yeah, B plus.
Next one, Taylor Heineke from the Washington football team, Commanders. Obviously got us to the postseason. We knew where we were with the Tampa Bay, the diving pylon. His record was 12-11 as a starter. Positive. He had a winning record.
Yeah, I think for me, because of his story, because where he's come from, you've got to give him at least a B, maybe even an A. I mean, we got a winning record for a shit team. Let's face it. We are Bangav, and he came from his sister's couch.
Yeah,
he wasn't even playing ball. He was thinking about doing maths and all the rest of it. He'll go back to college and doing maths. So for me, so to do that, come in, ball out, and in some games really excite us. In some games, I mean, I'm not a Heineke Hive guy, but I mean some of the plays he pull off for us is unreal. I was like, wait a minute, who the fuck's this guy? So yeah, for me, I'm giving him tough one.
I'll give him an A. No, because it was inevitable.
B plus.
It was inevitable that I would text you and say, incoming pick, boom, there's the pick. You knew it was happening. I mean, not every QB is perfect. I totally understand that, but I would go C plus for me. Even though he's got a really good winning record, I just could never get.
Well, I won't say really good winning record. He's just got a winning record.
Yeah, 12-11. I know what you mean,
but what I'm saying is like from where he's come from.
I get it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and let's say he played with he played with fucking Scott Turner's offense, mate. Do you know what I mean? I mean, just for that, he needs an A.
Next one we've got then Robert Griffin III, RG3 or RG Knee, as you know him.
RG Knee, yeah.
He was a guy who made me fall in love with his team. Man.
First year, he'd be A plus. Do you know what I mean?
He'd be fall in love with his team.
He was like fucking unbelievable first season.
14-21 was his record.
Yes, see what I mean? Like, but and again, see a lot of him was
first round pick, second overall.
Second
there you
overall,
go again.
Exactly.
There you go again.
Another one that
not
bust,
getting what
big time bust.
But was it because what was the reason behind it? Was it mismanagement of his knee? Was it him? Was it?
I think it was him and Dan Snyder. I think it was them two together. I think between the two of them, you don't run out a head coach like Shanahan. You just don't do that. The guy's a Hall of Fame level coach, and what do? Just this rookie comes in and starts bigging it up and thinking he's better than everybody, and then runs off to Dan Snyder when Shanahan wants to bench him. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, wait there a minute. For me, he's an F.
Wow.
He's an F.
No.
He's an F.
No.
You can't have 1 year. You can't have 1 year of unreal.
He's a D.
You can't have one season of unreal and then blow his knee out and be a dickhead to everybody and alienate himself to the whole team, and then after that produce nothing. So nah, man, he's an F.
D. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We'll argue until the cows come in with that one. Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson from the Redskins, 17-10. Brad Johnson was the quarterback when Dan Snyder took ownership of the team. Obviously, he didn't want him in as the owner, but obviously,
what the worst thing is? Brad Johnson was the best quarterback we've had.
I know.
It's unreal.
It's unreal, isn't it? It is unreal.
And what did Dan Snyder do?
The best.
Run him out of town.
Yeah,
run him out of town. He won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl with Tampa, I think.
He did. He did win a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy was obviously the best guy we had, but obviously Dan Snyder didn't think he was a big enough name. That's the problem. But then you bring in George after that. Jeff George.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
I think he did, didn't he? After that, yeah. So
he was 7-4 as a starter in 2000, and then he went 1-4. But it didn't seem to matter to him. He just wanted a big name. Do you know what I mean? Just wanted a big
7-4, and George went 1-4.
That's right. Yeah, George went 1-4. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. You just think, Jesus, what happened? I mean, Johnson was the best QB we had under Dan Snyder. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And you could probably, maybe the next guy, the last guy we're talking about as well, probably is on a par with him, maybe.
I would say so. I would say so.
But yeah, Brad Johnson for me is a B. Solid
it's
B.
getting a
Yeah,
B,
solid B.
definitely. Even if B plus, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. But again, probably give him a B because he didn't win shit for it. Let's face it. I mean, he won a few games, but he didn't win like a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
He
he didn't go.
get
So he didn't
playoffs
get
or you
in
know
the
what I mean,
playoffs.
and late.
Yeah.
But again, that's on fucking Dan Snyder's fault, really. Again,
And the last one on the list is Kirk Cousins, 26, 30, and 1.
yeah.
Was his overall record.
And again, he's probably been the most consistent / best quarterback we've had since 2015 when he first come into the league.
Correct.
There's been ups and downs with him. Minnesota are finding that out as well.
Yeah. I'm not sure
he came
whether
in 2012,
he's the best
didn't
or
he?
not.
He came in 2012.
12. Yeah, 12.
Because he came the same year as Griffin, didn't he? But
that's right. Yeah,
the thing
absolutely.
is, but he was on the bench, and he didn't really start until 2015. So
he was never going to start, was he? But that was the point. I think he was Shanahan's quarterback. That was the thing, and then obviously,
exactly.
The next thing
he wanted to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then obviously all the shit
did,
between them all, and all the rest of it, and RG&E trying to protect him, protect his name and all the rest of it with Dan Snyder.
But the thing is, Kirk's still putting numbers up now. To this
but that's
day.
the thing. That's the thing. He's like an enigma, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like it's like, wow, this guy put up nearly 5,000 yards.
Yeah,
nearly every season. What? And then you realize, he's actually won one playoff game. And you think
it's crazy, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what's going on here?
Unbelievable.
Like, is it a mental thing with him? Is it?
So
I don't know.
I mean, look, it's weird looking at this. Like the 2012 season, he had a 1-0 record. One start, one game win.
Yeah.
13 comes along. He played in 5 games. He started 3. He's got 0-3. Then he's gone 14. He's played 6 games, started 5. He's got 1-4. Then in 15, the tide turns and you're 9-7.
Yeah, that's when he started the whole season.
Yeah, and then the next one is 8-7-1, and then it's like 9-7-9. And you're thinking at that point in 2017, that's when you're holding out for franchise tags and you're on the second tag, and it just got nauseating then. Do you know what I mean? It just got ridiculous to the point where it was like, right.
I mean, to be fair, we should call him Captain Tag. To be fair,
we had to pay him though, man. We had to pay him.
But yeah,
that is still going to go down as one of the worst decisions we've ever made as an organization.
Bruce Allen.
Of course it is.
Bruce Allen wants to massively lowball him. I think he was at the time. I think I read or listened to an interview years ago of Curzon, and he said he wanted to stay in Washington.
Yeah, I know.
And he got off it, and like he said he would have took something like 16 or 17 mil per year. And we didn't offer it. We offered like 12 mil just to really lowball him, and he was like, "Well, disrespect, fuck you." Do you know what I mean?
We've just sat here and gone through 27 pretty much no marks. Yeah. And only a few of them were saying, yeah, these are pretty good, or this one had a decent enough record. We're splitting hairs when we're getting through.
And even then, they're not even like
amazing.
They're not Mahomes would die. If he had the record like these guys, he'd die. He'd have a heart attack himself. He'd be like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
The media would absolutely crucify them. But we're not talking. These are not players on the Joe Burrow level. The Josh Allen, these sort of players.
I mean, the only one with the highest upside like that was the RG&E first year.
Correct.
Where he was lighting the legal.
I actually thought we had it then. That was the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, well, he blew himself, did he? That's what I'm saying. He blew his own knee. And it was his own fault. He wouldn't allow it to be benched.
So what are you going for your top 5? What's your top 5? We won't do top 5. What's your top 3 then through the Snyder era? Top 3.
I'm going to say Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk is number 1. Alex Smith, number 2.
Oh.
And,
yeah. Are we going to be exactly the same?
Probably Mark Brunell.
Oh, you go Mark Brunell. Right, I'm going to go Taylor Heineke.
No, fucking Taylor
Heineke. I don't know why. Yeah, maybe Brad Johnson.
Yeah, Brad Johnson could have been a call, actually.
I wasn't around then. Do you know what I mean? So I can't claim.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think Brad Johnson should be third, actually. Change your mind. Fuck Brunell off and put Johnson
in. Put Brad Johnson in. Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. Well, that about does us, Scouse, I think. I think we've droned on long enough, but it was something a little bit different towards the end there, just to go through and see what we had.
How much pain and how much suffering we had to deal with. under Snyder's era.
Please, Sam Howell, just be good. Just
That's
be
what I
mid.
mean. Just be decent.
Just be mid.
Just be decent. Yes, it's got to be world class. Just be decent, and we'll love him because we've had shite for 20 odd years.
Imagine having a QB that has a 0.0 rating. I mean, honestly, what on earth? Wow, but there you go.
Only us. Only we could pull that off.
Only us,
yeah, only we could pull that off. Nobody else. I don't see any other team having this. I reckon if you went through everybody else's, like, say, any other team, I reckon if you go from when Dan Snyder started there, as in like our 27 years or whatever it is, and 27 years of other QBs, I bet there's about 10, if that, 8, something like that. Where ours is 27.
Yeah, if you look at Green Bay, what, 3?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's probably even less, yeah. Yeah, Rodgers forever, Favre forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
yeah, it's crazy.
Now they've got love this time around. I mean, it's just mad.
Tom Brady, Patriots. You know what I mean? Not much before that. Drew Bledsoe. That's about it.
Yeah, Bledsoe was good. He was a good quarterback.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So you just think, okay, yeah, crazy.
So, man, we've had nightmares. We've had the worst ever. Like, it's like we don't know how to pick a quarterback.
Well, yeah.
No matter who's in charge.
We've just always reliant on, because of injuries, we're always reliant on second and third stringers.
And that's why, and that's why we, us as fans, give a shit who the backup quarterback is.
Yeah,
because we know they're going to be on the field at some point in the season.
No, they're not. Not this season. Not this season. They're not. Not this season. They're not.
I hope not. And that's what I'm saying, though, because if everything goes right, Howell balls out, he doesn't get injured. Don't need to see Jacoby Brissett ever again. That'd be great. I'll be well happy with that.
Same. All right, Scouts. Well, thanks for your time this evening. It's the time is flying by again. You can catch us obviously on Twitter. We are still there. We're not gone on to Threads yet, or whatever this new thing is that
the new Insta thing. Yeah.
Instagram suddenly decided is going to be the new Twitter, and we've not migrated to that just yet. But you can.
I've heard there's 10 million people have already.
10 million people today already. Unbelievable.
Well, you've been out like 2 days into something ridiculous.
Today it launched properly. Yeah,
came today.
Launched, yeah.
Wow.
10 million.
That's madness, mate. That's madness.
Unbelievable. But anyway, you can catch us at 1.safety4. You can catch Scouse is Scouse Andy 20 on Twitter. Please pump his numbers up, please. He's not got many that are.
I'm lonely. I'm lonely down here, mate. I'm not as big as you boys, you know.
Well, you know, it is what it is. And then you can catch me. I'm Scotty H84. And you can.
The family's not watching me. The finger's gone up. The finger's gone up for them.
You can catch us week 1 as well. We'll be week 1 out there. So
yeah, man.
But you can catch the show again this same time next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And as I said earlier on in the show, thank you for downloading and thank you for subscribing. Highest rated show last week. So we really, really appreciate
you guys.
That people are out there listening still. Even if we just got 2 people listening and it was me and you, I've been more than happy with that. So yeah.
Well, that's it. We just do is have a laugh and talk football. That's all we do.
We do. Thanks everyone. Take care and we'll see you next week.
Bye.